Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games for the Game Pass collection, bring you three unique perspectives with rank skill range. I am the rocket engineer of this episode, Andrew. With us are rocket surgeon Keith.
Hello.
And our rocket man, Aaron.
Hey.
This week, we had a double listener request, so thank you so much to Count Chungus on our Discord and Chris on our Facebook, who wrote in to tell us we should check out Little Rocket Lab by Teenage Astronauts.
I want to know why. Here, future reference. If you're going to recommend a game, I want to know why you recommended it.
Count Chungus, I think, said on Discord that I think he actually kind of recommended it because he knew both you and Keith would hate it.
That's pretty fair.
Just because Count Chungus is very much like me, and he is a Tectonica sicko, so he knew how much you guys love that game. So, well, I know at least him. He was curious because, so I have different angles here. Little Rocket Lab, first to start off, is a top-down simulation factory management game. Think a little bit of Factorio meets Stardew Valley. So, it's kind of meant to be a simpler, easier factory management game. So, I think Count Chungus kind of recommended this to see, because you guys, the big thing you guys didn't like about Tectonica is you had no idea what to do. You were very confused. So he was curious if this would have been something easier and simpler for you guys. I don't know about Chris. Chris, when he messaged us on Facebook, he did not say anything in particular.
I just want to know.
Well, he said you mentioned Satisfactory a couple of times. I would request review of Little Rocket Lab.
Okay.
So I guess he more recommended it just because
for your sake,
talking about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you've got a weird obsession with making machines do boring tasks.
It is my genre. I don't know, like this factory management games. I have played like just about all the big ones, I guess, at this point. I feel like I should do an episode kind of ranking them all.
It does seem like it is it is a big genre of gaming.
Yeah.
And it seems to be getting bigger.
Well, the one that's currently being flooded that people are now starting to get sick of is roguelike deck builders.
Yes.
There's literally one that just hit Game Pass today or yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's a Souls-like deck builder.
Oh, but it also, I think, still has roguelike elements too.
It has to be. I'm sure it's a deck builder. Then there's also another roguelike that just came on today.
There's Vampire Survivor coming out. Or Vampire Builder, deck builder.
Crawler.
Yeah, Vampire Crawler. Yeah, I think it was called Crawler.
Crawler, that's it, yeah. So that's a genre that's blowing up. So the management games, though, the factory management games, I feel like it's not flooding, but it's definitely got quite a bit of popularity. But anyway, we're here to talk about Little Rocket Lab. So thank you to our listeners who requested we play this. So I will kick this off. As I said, I love this type of genre. But this is kind of a new twist on it where when you look at it, it's supposed to be a little bit like Stardew Valley. You know, you're taking over a land that's kind of gotten run down, and you know, you're trying to repair the town. The town's all in shambles, and you building a rocket lab is going to help the town and help the citizens. I will say, as far as factory builder games go, this is probably my least favorite. It is a game still. I still had a lot of fun with it, but to me, it felt like it didn't do the two things well. It didn't do a good management of like the citizens and building friendships well, and then the factory building on it too there was a lot of logistic stuff that I was really wanting, and its management of it it was very clunky. So it didn't do the factory building that well, and it didn't do the town people management that well. So overall, though, I still give it a game. I still had a lot of fun. I beat it. I put a good amount of time in it. But yeah, you can't go wrong. It is easier. I'm saying this as my preference. Obviously, I knew this genre. Aaron and Keith might disagree with me. I think you have never played a factory management game. I think this is a very good starting point. So, Gabe.
Yeah, I truthfully did not play a ton of this. I had a week where I just didn't really sit down and play just about any Xbox. And so I didn't get a lot of time. I think I put maybe
good journalistic integrity.
Hey, I'm gonna come around and say it, but I did today when I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to play enough. Did throw on some YouTube videos of watching people play it. In particular, they had a full walkthrough, so I think I worked like kind of in the background somewhere between like 5 and 6 hours of it. But from what I played, have a pretty fair assessment because, like any of these games, I think you know right away, not my style. So just instinctively, I'm not gonna. These games pretty much always start as a pass for me. It's one of those rare genres where I'm like, I'm probably not gonna like this. I could be totally wrong, but from everything I watched, everything I played of this, I don't see it changing for me. The only thing I will say is I can see where this is a quote unquote cozier version of some of these, more accessible, and I can see where it leans into that. And I think that's nice if I really wanted to, but I just have no interest in building a factory. And my biggest reason, it's a very weird reason because in some ways it's not, you don't think of this as like kind of a creative type of thing, but there's a creativity that comes along with it of like thinking about how to plan your conveyor belts and how things need to feed in. And I just don't have the vision for it. And I just end up doing everything by hand. And Andrew can attest to this. Every time he sees me playing one of these games, it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'll just carry this from here to there. He's like, no, do this, 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 and this. Neat. So yeah, this I think nothing that I did of this playing this game was going to probably make this land as a game. There's highlights of it that I think are nice about it. And, yeah, but it is going to be a pass.
Andrew, you already went into it on questions I kind of wanted to, or things I wanted to point out very early on. It looks like you already kind of went into that, but this was interesting because I kind of thought that too, right? It's a dumbed down version of the games you really like. So I was wondering that as I was playing, I said, I wonder if Andrew likes this because this seems like a very simple factory builder. So would this satisfy the itch there for him? It was better for me. Yes, I thought it was easy enough. It was very, very simple, very straightforward, very easy to see. Do these ingredients, and you make thing.
Well, does this mean you might give it a game?
But comparing it to Stardew Valley is another great kind of connection because it is. It's a perfect combination of Stardew Valley versus Satisfaction.
You can tell with the art style and the vibe that's what they're going for.
There are elements of Stardew Valley I absolutely hate that exist in this game, which we will get.
Well, yeah, you did not like Stardew Valley at all, right?
I really did not like.
I think I knew that.
I purchased that game, and because I was dead set on loving that game very early on. It was like very early on when it hit Xbox. I was dead set on loving that game because I was like, it's like Harvest Moon, and
better than Harvest Moon.
Well, it's much better. Oh, I'm not gonna obviously, but that game never connected for me. I spent hours,
which is so weird. We owned Harvest Moon. Was that on like Game Boy or something? I remember both me and you were obsessed with it.
Yeah, love that game. Loved Harvest Moon.
So like, what happened with Stardew?
We'll get into it. If, like, as we talk through this, I will explain some of those things that kind of bothered me about this game. This is going to get a barely pass for me. That's why I wondered when it was recommended, was it as a troll job, knowing Andrew loves these types of games, me and Keith don't love these types of games, and they just knew that none of us would like this. I kind of thought that's what, because I felt like it wasn't going to reach the itch for you. I'm kind of surprised you liked it as much. I didn't think it was going to do enough for you.
Oh yeah, no, it did enough.
That's interesting. So
I mean, this is like if you throw just about any roguelike at me, I'm like, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, even a bad one's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm still gonna go through it. I'm gonna play all the characters. I need to try it all. So yeah.
Yeah. This will get a barely, and here the reason why ultimately, if I have to boil this down, is again, Andrew nailed it in the intro here. If you have not done one of these factory building games, so far, this seems to be the most, like, the easiest way to introduce yourself to it. Because it gets the concepts of the stupid games we were playing before that I hate, but that Andrew gets all obsessed over. So it gets those concepts, but just very, very straightforward, very handholdy, really hard to kind of mess that up. I'm kind of with you also, Keith. I do have a hard time like seeing the vision of building things. I noticed right off the bat I'm doing things so inefficiently, and I'm like, I hate this.
That always comes with time. Anytime you pick up, like, even the amount of time I've spent on factory management games, still, when I start a game, I'm like, I know what I'm going to be doing at the beginning here is just going to be garbage.
You're going to break it all down later.
I'm playing Satisfactory right now, And someone was literally watching me. They're like, "Man, you really should be building more foundations and like building a building." And I'm like, I don't know. But that was at the beginning. And now that I'm like really far into
You're
it,
like,
I'm
"Oh, I
like,
should've
man,
built
I wish
some
I built buildings
Like,
and
boy,
like
it would be
coordinate
so
things
helpful if I had
better.
those now.
Yeah. So all that to say, I'm going to give this just barely a pass for me.
All right. So anyway, getting into the story of the Little Rocket Lab, you are playing a young girl, and so right off the bat, stealing something from Stardew Valley type games, somebody has to die at the beginning, and in this
No.
case, it is your mother. Your mother has a rocket lab. She's building a giant rocket for reasons. I as far as I saw, the game never gave me a reason as to why my mother was so dead set on building this giant rocket. You are in a town in the middle of nowhere, and you at the time are like an 8-year-old little girl, but your mother becomes sick and ends up dying, and you enjoyed helping your mother build that rocket, but since your mother died, the grandmother can't take care of you, so you move out of town, and your grandmother promises one day we will finish this rocket. Fast forward to, I think it said like 8 years in the future, or 10 years. I think you're supposed to be like between 16 and 18 or something like that. You're now an older adult. You are heading back to town to try to build the rocket lab, but you find out your aunt's given up on the dream. Or your grandmother? Is it your aunt or your grandmother? I think it was your aunt. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's auntie. That's what you're saying.
She just always looked very old. I just assumed she was her grandmother. But she's given up on it. The lab is now in disrepair, and she doesn't really care to do anything, but you said, no, I'm building this rocket, and you are, and that's the story. And the town is in ruins because whatever reason, this rocket lab was bringing in tourists and money for the town, but since it isn't there, the town's dead as well. It was a lot of, there's a lot of things in this story that I'm going on, and I'm just like, okay, it's just reasons. Here we go, reasons.
I mean, right off the bat, I don't understand why it started with you as a small child there. And then you're getting...
Because someone had to die.
Yeah, but
someone has to die in these games.
But then you're getting shipped away. But why didn't they just start you not there? It seemed weird to me that it's like, oh, your mom's dead, now leave.
You had to have a reason to go back there.
Because this was your mom's hometown, and I think your mom knew she was dying, and she wanted to be buried in her hometown.
It's weird to me that you get shipped away. That it's like, oh, your mom just died, now leave.
Because your aunt didn't want to take care of you, I guess. I think you went to go live with your father, maybe?
Something like that.
I think that
actually is what it is.
It was weird to me that the story started that way. To me, you could have just as easily have said, you wanted to follow your mom's dream to finish the lab, so you're going to her hometown to... Like, it could have started that way. It was just weird that you started as an 8-year-old girl, and they're just like, hey, leave. And then you're back. Then the next scene...
Sorry, your mom's dead. There's the train.
Yeah, then the next scene is you coming back 10 years later or whatever. I thought that was a little odd. The only reason I thought they did that is so that there were characters that recognized you.
Because you had to be from this town.
Yeah, it just seemed...
Even though you were 8 years old.
I know. It seemed so strange. It just seemed like that really wasn't thought through. I don't think that the story was the strong point in this game.
No,
at all.
It's not.
Well, so here's my important question is, what did you name your factory, and how did you incorporate penis into the name?
I called it Microid Soft.
It's so stupid, but I really like that. I honestly, I think I left it generic. This is shocking to me.
Because I was like, I wonder if this is going to actually let me do anything, and I think I literally just made it because it starts out with like Morgan's something machine, and I think I just made it Morgan's penis machine.
Dogtown Rockets.
I was like, I don't really know what this is going to do for anything, but I just hope someone has to say it a couple times. So,
man, I'm embarrassed that I didn't think of anything now.
That is very,
truthfully,
very surprising.
Of all the people, like I thought that was gonna be your question. I was gonna steal it.
Microid Soft. I don't know where that even came from. So, what do you want to name your factory? And I'm like, oh, definitely Microid Soft.
This is it. Like you didn't even.
I didn't even hesitate. It was like immediate.
That's impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
But anyway, yeah. So as far as the story goes, so like if the overall story isn't that great, which when it comes to a cozy game, it's fine. You can have a okay, means to an end kind of story, but you got to compensate with the characters. You got to have, good citizen stories and good citizen relationship building. I could care less about any of these citizens. I didn't. This is where the game really first struggled with me when it came to this. Is I am building parts to build the factory. That is my goal. Okay, that's what the game tells you. You're fixing this rocket up. So, but there was never like, oh, but you should maybe build these products to sell to earn money. Or, there is a community board. Some people are asking, hey, can you build me 50 assemblers? Which is also weird. Why does a random citizen need 50 assemblers?
I only have
what are
15.
you doing with them? And it's they don't explain it. And you have, I know there was one character that's a student, one character is an astrologist, one character runs a floral shop, which, whatever. But either way, I did not care about any of these characters. They didn't do a good job fleshing them out. There are side stories with each of these characters, and some of them are okay. You have a girl who basically is hoping that her dad will contact her on a radio, but then you kind of, make the girl realize that your dad doesn't love you anymore. He's not coming back. That literally is the story. Sorry, he doesn't love you anymore. He's gone. He's started another family. So some of those stories are actually okay. But still, at the end of the day, the game didn't do a good job. Like when you do Stardew Valley, you have a heart system. 10 hearts is how much someone can love you. In this game, I think it's 5 or something. It's similar. But it wasn't easy to do the hearts. Like people have likes and dislikes. I don't know why. I don't know how. Because this game does have a month system, but the months aren't like Stardew. It's Stardew, it's a 28-day calendar. In Little Rocket Lab, those are chapters. Oh, you completed the first part of the rocket. Summer's over. Now you're going into fall. And so it's not like, oh, I got to wait till this guy's birthday. This guy's birthday's in the fall. His favorite item is this. I got to talk to him, hang out with him, learn
So
more
it's
of the story.
as many days as it needs to be?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So this is where the whole story part of the citizens, it didn't feel natural or organic or I never felt like I want to learn about these characters.
Yeah, well, because even in Stardew too, it goes so far as they have favorite seasons, don't they? And
favorite locations,
holidays.
They have hobbies.
You know what I hated in Stardew Valley? Managing relationships. Do you think I was excited to see that again here? No, I wasn't. Do you get anything out of that? Do you get anything?
Yes-ish.
Is it just more story?
No. So I think I couldn't quite figure out if it just naturally happens.
Because it felt like you could ignore it completely.
You can't. Okay. Well, this is all right. I don't know if it was based on relationship or it just naturally happens. Eventually, every citizen says, hey, use my house to make free product. So obviously you need to start getting more advanced components, steel beams, computer parts, stuff like that. And it has these mini puzzles in each citizen's house. A citizen says, hey, I want to give you computer parts. And it gives you all the pieces. They, of course, live in a very tiny house. And they want you to build a factory in this house in the middle of their living room. So it's kind of a puzzle of I have a super limited amount of space. How do I create a factory to produce this many units? And if you do it properly, outside that house will permanently constantly generate that part. So you don't have to make it on your own, which is very helpful. But I don't know if that just happens naturally or it's because some citizens liked me. Because everyone's heart just kind of went up on their own anyway for me just playing. I wasn't really actively doing anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Citizens.
It felt like such a useless mechanic because it felt like it was progressing anyway. And you're bringing me on to another thing I don't like about Stardew Valley and I don't like about this. It's this especially. So the heart of Stardew Valley is your farm, right? Your heart of this game is the factory. I never felt satisfied leaving to go do menial tasks elsewhere. I never felt satisfied doing that. I didn't feel like, okay, cool. If you do that process, you now get a particular part, but I got to walk all the way over there. I still got to go do this whole thing to go get that rigmarole. I can't.
Then you build a conveyor belt so you never have to walk back over there.
Man, I don't know. That stuff, and it would bother me in Stardew Valley where I was like, I don't really want to have to go into town for relationship stuff. I just want to build a really cool farm and spend my time on this dang farm. The other thing I can't stand in this game, And I hate it in Stardew Valley, and I get it. It's like the backbone of these games. I hate the day system, the night and day cycles. Can't stand it. Can't stand that I can't go do something because they're not open at that time. That ticks me off. And now I'm like, oh, well, now what am I going to do? I have to build everything around these calendars and schedules, and that sucks. I don't want to do that. I want to go build a factory and just spend time on the factory. And if I want to go buy a bag, I can go buy the bag. Why is it? Oh, it's 8:30. They're not open. All right. Well, now I got to go hang out, I guess.
Because you got there at 8:31 and the door's locked.
That stuff just ticked me off in Stardew Valley. It ticked me off here.
It's so funny though, because like, think about if we were, I'll even say 14 years old and you got the new Xbox game, right? We had the original Xbox thing. Probably Fable was one of the early ones that where it has this. You're like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Sure.
You see, I have to be there by a certain time. It's like real life. This is real. And now we're like, oh my gosh, real life is the worst. I'm trying to play a video game. Don't make me abide by real life rules by having to be there by this time. I'm going to start banging on the door.
I have to do that in my day-to-day life where I'm dealing with schedules and times. And now to go buy, a stupid backpack. Sorry, you didn't come at the right time for it. And it's like, screw that.
Yeah.
That stuff just...
Video games are supposed to be relaxing. I didn't get to renew my license today at the DMV because I was 5 minutes late. And I'm supposed to come home and play a video game where I have to do the same thing. No, thank you.
And I get it. Somebody's going to hear this. I get it.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Our community hates me and thinks Andrew's
This is what I'm supposed to be doing with this game? No way. No way.
They think Anders' takes are the absolute greatest takes of all time, and he loves these types of games. So he'll probably explain to me why the day-night cycle is actually really fun, and it makes the game better.
Because look what you can be doing, Aaron. Look at this. Look at this absurdity.
Yeah, if you are not watching right now, Andrew is playing clips from the game, which...
Is this you playing, Andrew, or is this...
That's just a trailer.
This looks like a trailer.
Oh, this is
I don't think Andrew did any of this. I mean, holy smokes.
No, mine was actually more organized.
Maybe. But I don't know. So there's certain things in this game that I'm like, I get you were trying to do a Stardew Valley thing. Even the artwork is very Stardew, but I don't know. I can't stand some of that stuff.
No, honest, I agree with you.
Thank
the day-night
God.
cycle, didn't care. I actually did not care for the day-night cycle.
You hear that, community? You cannot come at me because Andrew agrees with me.
It wouldn't be so bad if they fleshed out, like I said, the relationship in the town building, but it's not fleshed out. So
it
because
makes
of
those
that,
really
yes,
arbitrary. The day-night cycle is very arbitrary. It felt that way the whole game. It didn't feel necessary to do it. Yeah, the season.
Well,
like
I was
I
gonna
said,
say,
the season just progressed via chapter.
Or like Stardew Valley, if I recall, you didn't have to sleep if you had enough energy, right? Like you just keep renewing, having enough.
No, you got to go to bed and Stardew.
And save the game just like this one did, right? Every time you went to sleep.
Because I feel like there are games that give you almost like an alternating day-night cycle. Like you can go into the dungeon at night, and I know you could with Stardew, but it was like
Graveyard Keeper.
Oh, never mind. I take it all back. I hated that game.
Man, good memory, Andrew. I like how you just kind of vaguely alluded to it. You're like, you knew what it was right away.
But I will say that's one way that is kind of making it acceptable. Like if you give me a purpose to say, okay, this is what you're going to do during the night cycle, this is your day cycle, and there's a reason for it, fine. And otherwise, yeah, I don't want to have to be like worried about tearing across town, and especially because it's a video game. It obviously has to be like pretty much an on-off switch. If I'm running up to that door and I don't get there by the time it says 8:30, it's not letting me in. I'm just like, I hate this.
It's slow getting around too. Like it's just not.
You get a mount eventually.
Man, just give me the mount at the beginning, or don't give me so much dang space. I feel like there's just obviously your beginning space is because you're going to build a crazy looking factory. So I get it.
No, I will say it kind of gets worse. So your factory isn't is not. Your factory is the entire town.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you saw in that trailer.
Yes.
But eventually you are building everywhere, over the sidewalks, everywhere.
You think that
which was also very annoying because the citizens are kind of dumb. And so if you have a conveyor belt blocking the way, they get super angry with you, and it actually hurts the relationship.
Okay,
I don't know. It's considered like an accident. in like in your end of the day report. I don't know. Either way, it hinders an achievement. I'll say that. But yeah, you have to build everywhere. And so it does kind of become a like annoyance of like, all right, I got to go near the beach to get my electronic parts. Eventually your ores start to run out. So you got to go to the mines that are kind of the northern part, the stones in the southern part. And it's just like, okay. So you do eventually really have to stretch out. And that is, with the gameplay that irritates me with this as a factory management game. It lacks a lot of quality of life logistics. I legitimately would have to build a conveyor belt all the way from the east side of town to all the way to the west side of town. And it's just like, and you can only build underground tunnels. You can't build you can't build a bridge. So it's just a lot of this stuff. I'm just like, come on, why didn't you just add this? Why isn't this in here? Why is the conveyor belt, even at a top speed, is super slow? I'm like, this is just so some of the quality of life stuff that I expect from conveyor belts and stuff like that kind of lacked in this game.
Well, so one thing I liked about it pretty quickly, at least with the conveyor belts, something that I think it was Tectonica that I struggled with very quickly is how to connect them and set them up. It does two things. It very quickly kind of shows you, because it sort of explains it. It makes it a little bit hand-holdy on how you do it. It's actually pretty natural. But all of the layout of the initial, it like leaves the remains of the previous lab, so you can like look at how it was set up to go, okay, I kind of have a template of what I should be building here, and
Yeah,
that's kind of
Tectonica did that.
nice. So for someone like myself who doesn't really have that vision, if I kind of, I could screenshot it, or if you just kind of slowly destroy that stuff as you build it, you're just like, okay, I'll destroy this thing and rebuild the same thing on top of it. That's what they had. That's might not be the most efficient, but it is a way I can make it work. So I did like that a little bit to it, but there's just no way that, especially that trailer. Like if I had watched that trailer before I started playing this game, I would have been even more off.
I wouldn't even touch this.
That is wild. Within the
Wow.
within the first day, I had someone mad at me because I blocked. It was the girl who comes and visits you.
Yeah, which is
I
dumb. You
blocked
have
her
to
in.
put a factory there.
Yeah, I blocked her in, and she's sitting there just like, oh man, I was like, I don't
Go
know.
around.
I was like,
Go around.
It's literally like 10 steps to the right, not 2.
Yeah.
Just go and no. I'm just gonna sit here and angry bubble you over and over again. It was like 10:45 at night. I was like, what are you just gonna stay there all night?
I mean, the simplicity of this game was there. It was not hard to when I played Tectonica, I had no clue what was happening or how to make anything work and operate, and I couldn't stand that game. It was very, very annoying because I'm a dummy and I need my hand held. This is where I'm at right now in video games, and this game was good for a dummy. Heck, I even like the simplicity of, like, yeah, they're kind of just mostly just kind of fetch quests, but it was very clear on, hey, this is what you need to go do next. I'm sure that opens up and probably expands into all sorts of avenues where you're kind of going off rogue, kind of doing your own thing. But like to me, I appreciated the fact that it was just like, all right, collect these things, go put them here. And I was like, okay, these are simple tasks. I can do it. I don't have to think about this. This is very simple. So again, hats off to it. Like Andrew had mentioned, if this is your first version of these types of games, this one does give you an idea. And again, looking at that trailer, it'll get crazy if you want to get crazy. Gosh, yeah, Keith is spot on though. If I saw that trailer, I would have been like, oh heck no, I do not want to touch this game, because that trailer looked like it sucked.
I thought it looked cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
people.
Of course you do.
Awesome.
Like, it stresses me out. Like, when I see people building these factories in these games, I'm stressed out because it's just it's too much.
It is okay, and that's what I always say. Like, some people were watching my Satisfactory gameplay on YouTube. Go check it out. But obviously, I'm farther in the game, and so if you just jump in, it just looks like a mess. Like, if I showed you my Tectonica gameplay, it's just everywhere. But for me, I've obviously built this thing. I am like, this makes sense. I can see everything going on. So when I saw that trailer, yes, I'm probably with you where I'm like, whoa, that looks like a lot going on. But I know of like, oh, but you don't, whenever you look at this game dead set in the middle, yeah, it's going to be confusing. But when you build it yourself and you're like, oh, this is my copper wire lane. This is my steel plate lane. This is where I make my motors. Like, it makes sense.
It sounds
It-
awful.
it-
Sounds
well,
like hell.
see, and I think the biggest thing is, and I'm not. It's just a pure like difference of opinion. It's what kind of it's how your brain's wired or whatever you want to call it. Is that when you put these things together, you feel like good about it. I feel like this is daunting and I don't feel like doing it. I will say watching people play it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And even when I started, kind of watching, I was like, I could totally see that I could do this. But then I see that clip and I go, no, if there's at any point, even if it wants to be like 10% of that, because just the fact that once I started to figure out that I needed to sort of build a separate factory in town to at least most efficiently be delivering things to the university to do those things. It's like I built a conveyor belt and I just stood there at the end of the conveyor belt and I just held down the X button until I gave enough of the thing. And I could see where there's space over there. I could see where there's previous things built. It wanted me to put together assemblers and a whole thing to just, it's like, nope, I'm just going to build 50 of those gears and then I'm going to walk up and I'm going to hold X. And I just made the conveyor belt extra long because even though it didn't make it go any faster, it felt like it went faster because I got to watch more things.
Yep. There has to be.
I prefer manual labor.
There has to be some type of level of like. Am I going to get canceled for saying this? There has to be like a certain level of autism that is needed to enjoy this.
I think at the very least, like I firmly believe everyone has some sort of traits, if you will.
Yeah,
like,
but this then makes me wonder if I
it's a human
do.
trait.
Because I've been accused.
But this is
how much do you love trades, Aaron?
I've been accused of possibly being autistic. But then when I see somebody enjoy this game and I don't, I'm like, maybe I'm not that bad because this feels like a certain type of person really would like this.
But it's like I said, it's really just all about what tickles your brain because I'll sit here and say this makes no sense to me. And then I will play 2 hours of ball pit. And what is more like, if anything, Little Rocket Lab is actually probably working my brain harder if I allow it to, because I actually have to think and like do things. But realistically, all it is it's mindless activity. And that's my mindless activity. Now, you could boil it down to all video games or some sort of mindless activity in some dumb way at that point. But at least in comparison of those two games, I'm like,
no way, Keith.
2 hours on Brotato versus 2 hours on this. My brain is probably melting on
this
Brotato.
This is not how journalistic integrity works here.
That's
what I'm
why
going
I'm
to
not
do is
Googling
insult
it.
everyone that likes these types of games and
Fair.
claim that the games that I like are just better.
Journalism.
That's how we're going to do this. There's a game for everybody. No, if you like this, like Andrew does, you got some problems, buddy.
Now, you want to know what probably... I'm curious if you guys saw this. Do you know what my most hated thing was in Little Rocket Lab? The dog. I hated the dog so much in this game.
Why did the dog make you mad?
Okay. Every game, of course, this is like Stardew Valley. You, of course, get some sort of pet. This dog will not stop bringing me balls, and that takes up inventory space. And it was driving me bonkers. I'm literally chucking these balls in the trash. Every morning, the dog's like, here's a new ball. And I'm like, I don't want your ball, dog.
Okay, so it keeps doing this even after you got the dog, because I thought that was going to stop. And
it doesn't stop giving me balls.
I honestly, there is the smallest part of me that, like, you know how a lot of times in games there's some bug that gets gets written into the code and they just leave it because it's kind of fun. It almost felt like there was some bug that they wrote in that just couldn't stop this tennis ball from appearing every day. And they're like, you know what? Let's just give you a dog. Yeah. It'll be funny. That's why we'll put the dog in there.
I had a ball sitting in my inventory before I even met the dog.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I was
gather
already
like 3
picking them up
balls
with-
first.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, and
where
then
did
a
I get
cutscene
this?
happens.
Like, all of a sudden, I just saw a ball there, and little did I know what was coming.
The dog that doesn't stop making balls. And then when you're building factories, it actually gets in the way too. I don't think I've hated a dog more in a game than in Little Rocket Lab.
Yikes! That will get you canceled. You can't say you didn't like the dog.
Because you could at least eventually learn you could actually give it commands to have it sit. So every morning it gives me a ball. I throw that ball straight in the trash and I tell it to
And
stay
you
home.
sit right down. I like
That's my
that.
interaction with the dog.
I mean, I will say there's like, it almost feels like it just has to be done in a game like this. Like, it's like, oh, we got to give you a pet.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be useful, but it just seems, I don't want to say disingenuous, but it's just like almost like a rule of these games at this point that if you don't, people are going to get mad. But I almost get mad because of it. I'm like, great, cool, you gave me a useless thing. It doesn't help.
I do not stand by any of these claims being made. The dog was wonderful.
I
love all
love
dogs.
dogs.
All dogs are beautiful. They're God's creatures, and they're man's best friend. And you will never hear me say an ill thing about a dog.
Well, this also brings me up a point that also makes me a little sad about Little Rocket Lab, and that's the lack of customization. You don't get to choose
you're
your character
Morgan,
design,
and that's it.
You don't get to pick your dog, like. But that's usually once again a pretty big staple when it comes to cozy games.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. To
Because
me,
it's also
that did not stick out to me when I was not like, oh, I didn't get to make my hair purple. It really didn't.
But I gotta, as much as I like, for me, it didn't bother me. I feel like I know the genre enough that I agree with Andrew. Like, people who play these games, they want to identify with like characters, and they want to like, I don't know, feel like it's like someone they care about. So
Yeah.
they like the customization, and you want to have that. And even, or stupid little things like, I want to pick the bandana my dog has that's going to sit by the trash all day. I wanted to have that say, but you don't get to do any of that. Kind of takes away from it a little bit. Even not being able to pick your character's name truthfully in a game like this, being stuck as what they make you in the game, it's such a small thing, and I don't think it's going to be like a point that's like going to turn people off from the game.
You got to
but
call
it's
your factory
absolutely
something, though.
I mean, yes, because you can call it a penis factory,
Yes,
so
you
that
can.
is a plus. But at the same token, I didn't feel like I identified more with the game because I called it a penis factory. It just made me laugh more. And I never got to see that sign anywhere. If there was like a big sign above the door that said
There
that,
is.
like,
I think there actually is.
oh, okay. Well, that's pretty great then. But I'm just with Andrew. Is all I'm saying.
I think as I'm getting older, I care less and less about, can I create a wacky looking character with a wacky name? Like, I'm caring less and less about that stuff. And I actually care more.
Oh, look who's being more mature than us.
It's not that. Like, obviously customization
Super
is a
cool,
big deal
Aaron.
for a lot of people. I think I'm more interested in just nail the execution. If you've got a really good idea, if you've got an artistic vision and you want me to go by that artistic vision, just nail it. And I don't really care. I don't really care if I didn't get to name my dog, Dum Dum or something like that.
Classic.
Yeah, I don't care, because it's like, if you nail the pieces of this game that need to be nailed, then I'm
You're
good. The
saying
customization,
if you couldn't have called that dog Willie, that it wouldn't have been better?
it would have changed zero things for me. There was a time when I would have said that was a big deal, but again, I don't know
Rest
if it's
in
just me
peace,
getting
Willie.
older, and I'm just like, curate a good experience for me. If you can nail it on the experience, I could care less if I had any say on the customization. Just get it right. So I don't know. To me, I'm just past the point of caring about it, just because I couldn't make my character's hair purple and name her something stupid.
But another thing that also to me was a very disappointing thing was the dungeon. There is a sort of dungeon. There is essentially it's just a mine that has obviously ore, because ore everywhere in this world is very limited. So eventually you got to start going into the mines, which there are slimes that you can bash with your hammer.
No way.
But it was so clunky. The slimes are such a nuisance because they constantly keep respawning. I thought, oh, maybe if I start putting lights up, maybe lights will deter them. Nope. They're just always
Just
there.
makes them
They're
brighter.
always annoying. Yeah. God. But yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, that's all it did. And even too, the brightness wasn't like that much.
Did think you're kind of targeting to aim. So again, I
Yeah.
play this on PC. I did mostly play with a controller. I did play a little bit with the keyboard in mouse and keyboard because it wasn't like a complicated game to play otherwise. It was a little bit easier with a mouse and keyboard. On a
It
controller,
looked like it.
yeah, it wasn't super easy to kind of aim to things to click. I noticed a lot of times, I'm banging my hammer and I'm like, oh, I'm not aiming directly at that square. So sometimes it felt like I should have been hitting it, but I wasn't hitting it. So combat's going to have that same issue of trying to aim on something. I don't know how to describe it.
No,
Is it because the game is catty cornered? That was the issue. So you're not
like
looking
where everything's on like a very grid base.
well, it's not only on a grid base, but you're
Yeah.
not looking at it north, south, east, west. It kind of tilts the
the
board.
isometric.
Yeah.
And I think that was
hate
part
too.
of the issue.
Yeah, because your controller is still trying to operate on that north, and
Correct.
or you're trying to
That's a good way of
Your-
describing it because it's
orient to it.
it's to me, I just describe it as kind of like catty cornered, where it's kind of got you in the corner of the map, not
Yeah.
necessarily north to south. So when you're trying to aim at things, it's a little bit awkward because it's just not quite lined up the way that your controller.
I think that's exactly what it is. Because it's not, and it wouldn't make sense for the controls to account for that, but you're trying to orient
Yeah.
in adjustment to that, and it just makes it hard. Because I did notice the same thing. I've seen it in other games before, and I just I think that's why I write it off a little bit. But I think you're right, because it is a legitimate gripe, because in a game like this especially, you're trying to be so specific. And if you just start to move things, you're like, well, now I have to start this whole row over again, or accept this, go cancel that one thing, and then just restart this, this row of conveyor belts I'm doing. It's a minor inconvenience, but I just want to be more efficient, I guess, if I'm going to try to be. So at least when I was watching the walkthroughs of it, I was watching them. It was clearly playing it on mouse and keyboard. I was like, man, that looks so much smoother.
Yeah. You could see why it would make sense on a mouse and keyboard. And it'd be a little bit easier to play it that way.
Hey, welcome back, Andrew.
I was here.
Were you?
I was trying to see if I could actually boot up my gameplay.
Okay.
I didn't have time to record this stuff. But anyway, I don't know. I guess there's not too much more to talk about with the gameplay.
How long is this game to beat? Because I feel like I'd heard like 10 hours, and then the walkthrough I watched was like 25 plus.
25 hours main story, or about 40 hours with side quest.
Gosh. Okay.
So there is a new game plus. I remember when I beat the game, and it was like, new game plus. It's a hard mode. And it literally explains what hard mode means. It says all requirements are just doubled. And I'm like, okay, that's not really hard.
Yeah.
That's just time consuming. That's
you just have to wait longer.
Make things slower.
Yeah.
Well, because I won't get into that. But yeah, that just seems like slower.
Yeah. So as soon as I read that, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like,
now here's the
whatever.
real question though, Andrew. If you got to the end of Tectonica and they offered you that exact same offering, where it's just the exact same thing, would you take it?
You don't remember, but that was the thing I hated about Tectonica, actually.
Actually, no, I do remember you saying that towards the end it got really, really repetitive.
The final steps of it are an unbearable slog. It got real bad. So that is like, to me, it felt like it was in Tectonica, it felt like it was a placeholder. Like, we just want you to collect 100 billion things, and it's just like, okay.
I mean, it probably was, considering, and like, I'm not even trying to like knock on it, but like, it never technically got out of preview, right? And died.
Correct.
So it probably was actually supposed to be like, you'll never.
It did. Yeah, the studio went under. It went bankrupt.
And
now I'll never get achievements.
I think that's really the most ironic thing about the whole thing, is that is the only game Andrew's ever put that much time into that does not have achievements on Xbox. And he did it all in hopes of achievements. Be like, I'll even do it again. No.
Are you playing this live right now, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. So anybody,
So
perfect.
I kind of wanted to show you. So Keith, you do see your sign when you look here, but that's it. It doesn't actually have an overhead sign. I know. I did not, like you said, I did not incorporate penis in my factory's name, which is very disappointing. But as far as the audio goes for the game, the music I will say wasn't
It
bad.
was fine. It's kind of spot on for these types of games.
Yeah.
So, something I wouldn't expect.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. It's charming. Nobody's voice acted though, so you got a lot of just typical text sounds when people are talking.
Gosh,
so yeah, audio to me was fine.
Can't stand watching
the annoying
game
dog
right
that doesn't stop following you. Let me guess. Let's see. Did he give me a ball today? No. Okay, no ball today.
I'll go get one for you though, real quick.
So yeah, to me, audio, I guess nothing too much to write about. I will say art style though. I actually really like this game's art style. It's
I don't hate it.
It's very cute, but to me, everything was very obvious as to what they were.
Yep. Very bright, very distinguishable is what you were looking at. It's kind of that perfect level of pixelation. Because you could have gone really pixely here, and things would have been kind of just bleeding into each other a little bit. But I 100% agree with you. I think it's very much defined. But for anyone that wants to know what we were talking about, you can see if you are watching us on video, if you are watching us on Spotify, you can pull up the video and actually see us talking if you wanted to see that, or watch this gameplay. But you can see what we're talking about where you're not necessarily looking at the map. So these squares north to south, you're seeing them. So it is a little funky on a controller. You playing us a mouse and keyboard right now, Andrew? Okay. So I see your mouse there,
which I never did before.
It's a little
kind of weird.
I was gonna say, I will say you could mouse and keyboard. So, because there are some Xbox games that allow it. I'm curious if this was one that would.
So this was clearly a PC game. This I don't think was ever really. I mean, it was probably wasn't a priority to get it on to console. I only played this on PC. Another thing I should note, this hard crashed my PC multiple times.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's like a 2 gig game.
Not even like blue screen of death, like just straight up would shut it down. It received an update today, so I kind of wonder if that was addressing those issues. I didn't play it after the update went.
Well, there was one on console too, because I had one today too.
Okay, but I mean, my PC is brand new. It's got a 9070 XT in it. It plays Battlefield 6 at 1440p, high settings, and flies. There's no reason this game should be hard crashing it, so I assumed there was just something wrong. But I'm not really entirely sure what that thing was. But yeah, kind of had weird PC performance with this game. And I wasn't even doing anything crazy like this, mind you.
No, and it's funny watching this, like Andrew play, because like, I don't know, not even knocking on Andrew, because maybe this is just how it is. Like, it's not even fully efficient. Like, things are kind of backed up, just waiting for things to happen. I play stupid amounts of idle games, which are literally just that same thing, waiting for something to happen till I can buy the next thing. But this stresses me out.
That's what I am saying.
I could never put this together. And that's where I'm like, man, I kind of wish I played a little more of this game, because I want to have more reason to hate it, I think. But honestly, all I can say is like, I would never have gotten to this. There's no amount of hours I could have played that watching what Andrew's doing right now, I would have done.
Yep. I'm looking at Andrew's thing and I'm like, where would I even go? Like, I feel like things have to not be working right now. Things look like they're getting backed up.
Everything I'm watching makes sense. I can see how it all works together. I'm like, oh, I could see that making sense, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, I don't know. And if I did, I would just start to just be like, this is boring to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'd be like, I don't want to keep doing this, because I'm just like, I'm annoyed that I have to knock this thing out.
This game's beaten.
Fair. Okay. But yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of walking around and kind of managing things. And if you're into that, cool. It seems to really do a good job of that, but this does not do anything for my brain.
I hate your factory, Andrew. That's what I'm trying to get
at. Rocket.
Honestly, if this was called the Penis Factory, it would be better. I would
Yeah,
be so
whatever.
much more interested.
But yeah. So yeah, art style though I enjoyed. But as far as the achievements though, the achievements actually pretty good. I have majority of the achievements. I beat the game. I was gonna pull it up. No, I can't seem to pull it up. Where are my achievements? But overall, for achievement hunters, obviously it's gonna take a good amount of time, but it's not awful. There's obviously a handful of achievements that I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, which is like to get everyone's max heart up. Yeah, I have 770 gamer score, 21 out of 26 achievements. So there's only 5 I don't have. But yeah, one of them is kind of annoying of like doing no accidents in your factory for like over 100 days, which I was doing. But then I think once you start blocking past the citizens, that's considered an accident. And it reset my timer. And I was pretty pissed.
I mean, I'm not trying this anymore. You guys can all just sit and wait.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, I guess I could just start a brand new game and literally just keep sleeping for 100 days. And there you go. There's the achievement. I might end up doing it just to get that achievement. But yeah, overall for achievement hunters, it's not too
Like how
bad.
Andrew just decided.
It was exactly
he
what
had
I thought you could do.
It occurred to him at this very moment. He's like, wait a minute, I could just.
I could.
Okay,
No,
I'm gonna-
I thought about it before, but I was just like, you still have to sleep for that many days. That takes time.
That's still going to take an hour,
Yep.
2 hours for what? 10 achievement score? 25
No, I think it's
achievement
50.
score? That's not bad.
But yeah. Anyway, I guess we can get to our final thoughts of Little Rocket Lab because I'm sure you guys are sick of this. You ready for this ship to fly on out of here?
I am glad to not have to play this game ever again.
But anyway, I'll start this off. Little Rocket Lab for me, as I said, I love this type of genre. If you don't like this genre, as I'm sure Aaron and Keith will probably tell you, may still not sway you. But if you are interested in it, to me, this was a very simple game. The logistics of it weren't too hard. The most, even by the end game and doing the most complex of items that you need to create wasn't too bad. If you play these types of games, like it is a puzzle. It's a puzzle that you kind of create yourself, and it's all just about figuring out the logistics, which is to me a lot of fun. But obviously, it's not for everybody. Overall, though, as I said, for as far as management game goes, this is probably my least favorite. It doesn't do well with its cozy sim aspects of building up the town and building relationships, and it doesn't do a great job of the factory building either. It just missed a lot of kind of quality of life stuff I expect from when I'm designing my layout of my floor plan and stuff like that. So, and the story didn't fully hook me. I still, like I said, played this game to completion. I didn't hate my time with it. It was easy. It was just kind of a fun, relaxing time. But to me, this lands at a solid 80.
I mean, from the get-go, I think I knew where this was going to go. I said it.
To the moon.
These factory games and the likes, they're just they instantly put me at a no. And I wanted to try, and I as I said, I wish I could say I played this more so that there'd be no doubt that I would. But at the same token, watching even just the trailer, let alone Andrew's end game of his not trailer level factory that he put together, there's zero potential that I would have ever gotten to that point in a way organically. Yeah, like you would have had to have physically paid me money to put the time in to do that, because to me, watching this just looks like work. And I'm sure that's a fine thing for people who want to play games like that, but that to me just looks like work. And it makes me laugh every time because Andrew complains about this in games. He's like, it feels like work, but man, he loves these games.
Why do I complain about that? I talk about how much I love it. I love simulator games where I'm doing a job.
The first time you ever brought it up, what was it?
Andrew
it was
is
one of those,
inconsistent. He does.
It was one of those blob games where you had to you had the weird character, you had to control both arms, and you were moving things around, and you were like, this just feels like a job, like the way that's making me do this. You've made this comment.
Was it
over
Human
other
Fall
games.
Flat?
Yes,
That was
sounds
like year
right.
1.
I know, but you've made this comment through the years. You're like, it just feels like it's work that they're making me do.
How does Keith remember that?
But then you will play games like this and love them. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But these games feel like work to me. That if I wanted to sit there and just put in a bunch of really, really heavy thought process into, I could probably make sense of them. It makes sense watching them. It doesn't do it for me to want to put my time in for my enjoyment. This has a lot of simplistic aspects that I think if it's a genre you want to get into, this feels like a perfect game to do it. And especially if you like cozy games, if you've liked Stardew Valley, this could be a really good transition into this type of game. But it just was never going to do it for me. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a solid 60. Oh, no. 66.
I like that you said solid and then went
Right?
with 66.
And then I only-
pretty solid 66.
Because I said, well, I was going to say 67, but you know.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I
No. Don't say that.
Yeah. Well, it's too late now. I did it.
Millions of children just stood up out of their chairs. And just
Our
said,
listener,
67.
we're just going to put this on the SEO now, and we are going to go boosting up the numbers because I said 6,
that'll
7.
be huge for us. Listen, this whole episode, you probably heard me sound really negative on this game because at the end of the day, this is not my type of game. But could this be a gateway drug for people that are on the fence on it? I think it could.
Last week, Keith made a claim a game cures gambling, and you're saying this was a gateway
This
drug.
one will get you into cocaine.
John, let us know.
No, I
You
think
told us Cloverpit carried you. What does this do for you?
I think this game, if you were on the fence or you've never really played a factory builder, this will be kind of your, oh, yes, this works for me. Or no, I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. I would start here. Everything else that I've seen, all the other with the, what was the game that we played? We didn't play Factorio. We played Tectonica.
Yeah, I played Factorio.
That is a sucky first intro into those games. If you're not sure if you're going to like it.
Tectonica was my first.
This is the reason why I'm
That's
going to
a
give
lie.
the game a pass.
Tectonica is not your first
It
of
was
this
my
kind.
first. It
No.
was.
I think it was. And so Andrew's one of those freak shows that played like the hardest version of it and was like, I actually like this.
Yeah, or it was early beta.
And he wasn't even getting achievements for it. And he was still like,
This is fun.
so this game, it's,
Love that voice for Andrew.
I will say,
Yeah.
like, if you like cozies, it's got a little bit of that. So it's not great enough to be anybody's top version of those types of games, but it is a good introduction into these. It's the only reason I'm going to give this a pass. So I'm going to give it a 70.
Aaron's just trying to not be the one who gets yelled at this episode.
No.
It's just like Keith's falling on the sword. I'm
No,
going to let him take it.
I mean, Keith, I totally, because like you and me are on the same path here. The problem is I didn't want to immediately shut this one down. Like, I knew what type of game we were going to get into. So I kind of stood up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start fresh here. And I hope this game treats me like the idiot that I am. And it did. So, again, was this going to suddenly turn me onto these games? No. But I will appreciate it for what it is. And it was, to me, a very good beginner version of these games.
You know what I would actually be curious about? Is I would like to see Graveyard Keeper come back to Xbox, and not because if you remember, Andrew,
You mean Game Pass. It's still on
or to Game Pass, but yeah, because if I recall, and you can correct me on this, but the DLC actually had some sort of factory or stuff, right? Because you got like zombies that would do work for you.
Zombies. Yeah.
And honestly, I think Aaron would like that because I bet it's more up his speed.
Because it's for
And it would just continue. I actually don't know because I never played that aspect of the DLC. It came out after. But all of my complaints was that it was a game that lacked automation, and then they added that DLC, which gave some sort of automation. So, anyhow,
All right. But anyway, thank you so much again to our listeners, Count Chungus and Chris, for recommending we play Little Rocket Lab. But anyway, if you have any game recommendations, you could either join us in our Discord, you could write us an email, gamepassgrabag@gmail.com.
Leave a comment
Or just-
on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll probably do our year wrap-up episode soon, but yeah, we had our wrap-up, Spotify wrap-up, and apparently we were in the top 99% of podcasts of most comments.
Shoot.
So
Keep
thank you
'em
everyone
rolling.
who writes comments. We do get quite a bit of comments on our episodes. We always love hearing from people. So thank you all who take the time.
I just want to continue to shout out. I kind of did earlier mention this. John out there, which I know is just so generic, and maybe that's intentional. I don't know if it's not. if it is hilarious, it just adds to it. Your comments are my favorite. They make me laugh every time. I'm glad that Clover Pit helps cure your gambling addiction, and that we have that question answered now. So
yes, we do.
Yeah, and thank you so much to Ren. They wrote that we were their top podcast of 2025. That was from the rap. So
Look at
thank
us.
you so much for being an awesome listener. But yeah, thank you to everyone.
Tell my mom someone actually likes me.
Hey mom, I did it.
Somebody likes me. I have friends.
But thank you all so much for making this a great year. This was a great game to wrap it up to. Probably. I don't know. Yeah, we probably. Actually, I don't know if we have any more games this year because we still got to do our wrap up episode. But anyway, make sure you go to GamePassGrabback.com. Go to the top right corner. You can find the link to our Discord, our YouTube. I try to stream some of the games that we play there. So at least have some footage up there. So if you're ever interested in the games we're playing, you can probably hopefully check it out. But yeah, I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952.
Wrap it up.
Music.
No, Keith, we didn't do it, Keith. This was a listener request.
It is. I feel like it's gonna sound personal if I don't rate Chungus.
Please just cue the music.
96. Yeah, still cue the music. I'm gonna talk through this.
Music. Oh my gosh.
Chris, great person.
What are
great
you
character.
doing?
Solid 97 for you, despite not liking this game.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Thanks to Donnie, though. Actually, no, but seriously, I told him personally. Thank you, Donnie, if you're listening still.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.